Playoffs. MFL Total Access, right here, right now, playoff edition.
It's that time of the year, man. Exciting stuff. Exciting stuff. Uh,
Pumped.
this season flew by. Like I think 11 regular season weeks we had, 10 games, literally flew by. It's crazy, 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 crazy.
We say that every year, but I feel like this year is especially true.
Yeah, yeah, no, for sure. Crazy end to the regular season. A
Yeah.
few divisions that we're gonna have to dive deep into and explain a few things. I don't know if you saw the email we sent out this weekend. A few of the standings are not correct on the website. We'll explain why. We'll explain like really why and why they're not correct and what are the correct ones. Even though it's all communicated now, all the matchups are up on the website. I got like at least a dozen like text messages slash emails questions on why it's not like that, and we'll go through it all together. Luckily, the rule book's pretty clear when you give out the explanation. There was no arguing or like pleading any cases. It was really just asking why. Like we have changed the tie breaking rules a few times in the past. That didn't there was no major change that had a big implication this season. But yeah, um, excited to go over that.
Yeah, I'm surprised it wasn't more emails to us when you said dozens. Like, it's like several dozen. Because yeah, 'cause when you look at the standings and even I was looking at the standings in Div 2, and I said, oh my God, these guys made like because double dippers were out in the standings, right? I said, oh my God, like they and then
A
I
big
read
one.
the
It's a
email and
big one.
everything, and then I realized, yeah.
Well, I was hoping you didn't know because then I was gonna explain it to you at the same time. But do you understand why?
Ish. So don't worry, I'll be still I'll be
Okay.
your student for the day.
Hey, Tua's back, eh?
Yeah, another loss. Let's get it.
But he's playing against Buffalo this weekend, the team that made him go out. So we'll see.
That's true. I don't know how they lost to the Cards.
Did you see
Anyways,
Tyreek Stevenson?
woo!
Tyreek?
Like Terry Kill?
No, no. Tyreek Stevenson on the Bears against on the Hail Mary.
Oh, the celebration.
Yeah, well, he wasn't really celebrating. He was taunting the fans more.
Yeah. True. That was talk about karma, eh?
Yeah, he actually tipped the ball that got caught.
That would like that's something you see in movies and you say it's impossible.
Yeah.
It'll never happen.
His name's not spelled the same way as Tyreek Hill. Did you see how it's spelled?
Is it TA?
No, no,
Yeah.
Tyrique.
Oh wow, and it's pronounced Tyreek.
Yeah, I mean, I assume it's pronounced. How would you pronounce that? You're better with pronouncing names than I am. So
Yeah.
how?
No, I guess it's Tyreek, but it's not the OG. But
Yeah,
the OG's been dealing with a couple of losses, so.
yeah. I have my fantasy team, so he better. I held through all the downs, so hopefully it's only uphill from now. All right, let's get right into it, and let's start with that Division Two. You see my screen?
Yep.
Okay, great. So yeah, basically the website unfortunately cannot differentiate multi-team ties. If it's a two-team tie, it's able to look at the head-to-head correctly. And as soon as it's multiple teams tied, it goes to points against automatically on the website, which is not the correct thing to do. So if we look at the tiebreaker in the rule book, Rule 18.2, more than two teams tied. But actually, before we get into that, an important precision teams with forfeits, anytime you have a forfeit in the regular season, any type of forfeit, whether you busted cap, you took an illegal sub, you didn't show up, as soon as you have a forfeited game, um, you fall to the bottom of any tie-breaking procedure, whether it's two team or multiple team. Got that?
So even like a head to head,
Head
it's
to
before head
head,
to.
you beat your opponent, but you forfeited a game, they have a tiebreaker over you. I
Gotcha.
can understand people don't like it, but we hate forfeits more than anything else. So we feel that if you forfeited a game, you don't deserve any tiebreakers in any instance.
Mhm.
Um, and actually, in Brossard, we'll get into it. There was a forfeit that actually changed who got the first round bye. So we'll talk about that when we get to the Brossard Division Two. There's also some irony towards this forfeit in this Division Two standings, and I'll get to that as well. But when you look at the more than two teams tied, an important note is that over here, uh, note if only two teams remain tied after any step. So the steps are really like numerated, like each step, like step one, step two. The tiebreaker reverts to step one of the two-team tie format. And in the two-team tie format, it's very simple. If you played against each other, we look at the head-to-head record, right?
Mm.
So far, so good.
Yeah, yeah.
So keep that in mind for now. Um, so initially, in the more than two teams, we look at if the teams have played an equal number of games against each other, and everyone played against each other at least once. In Division Two, with an 11-team division, everyone plays exactly one time against everyone. So right there, then and there, we're going to look at that head-to-head record, right?
Got you.
Before we get into the crazier one of 5-5, there was a three-way tie at 6-4 with Thunder Buddies, Average Joes, and Nice TDs. And this is also incorrect in the standings. Nice TDs have the 3rd seed, and Average Joes have the 4th seed. Thunder Buddies beat both Average Joes and Nice TDs, so they're sitting at 2-0. They're clearly the top team in that three-way tie. And then if you look at Average Joe's performances against Thunder Buddies and Nice TDs, they lost to Thunder Buddies and they lost to Nice TDs. So Average Joe's are 0-2, and Nice TDs are 1-1 in that three-way tie. And that's why Nice TDs have the 3 seed. And like I said, as soon as there's more than 2 teams tied, the standings automatically looks at points against. It's not able to differentiate if it's when it's multiple teams tied and look at the head-to-head. The reason it does not do that is because certain divisions, not everyone plays against each other an equal amount of times or not. Because that first step that we saw here of teams play of head-to-head, sorted by the record of each team in the games played amongst themselves, is only if every team played an equal amount of times against each other, right? If, let's say, if Average Joe's had played only Nice TDs and not Thunder Buddies, and these 3 teams are tied, it's not fair to look at the records against each other. So in that case, we're going to look at points against. Like I said, 11-team division is blessed because everyone plays against each other once. So head-to-head is going to count first, right?
Got you.
So in this case, Average Joe's lost to Thunder Buddies. They lost to Nice TDs. It's pretty straightforward. Thunder Buddies beat Nice TDs, beat Average Joe's. Nice TDs are 1-1. Very simple. Thunder Buddies have the higher of the 3, then Nice TDs, then Average Joe's. Simple and
Makes
easy.
sense. Makes sense.
Let's get to the crazy.
Yeah.
And this one's very unfortunate for many, many reasons. So Rossard show up as 5 on the standings. They're actually in the 8th seed because they have the fewest points against, but we do not use points against yet. In this case, if it could get dealt with on the head-to-head record, right? Had Villains won against Respect, they scored on the last play of the game. They went for 1 to tie it and go in overtime. They didn't get the convert. Had Villains won this game, it would have been an additional team tied in that 5-5 mess right there. Had Average Joe's lost one of their games, they would have been 5-5. They had a doubleheader this past weekend. Anyway, all that to say that we had 4 teams over here tied at 5-5. They all played against each other exactly 1 time. Okay? So you know that first step is to look at the head-to-head record among the 4 of them. Here, I have it over here. So here's the standings that we have. Here's the correct standings. So basically, Double Dippers were 2-1 in those head-to-head, in those 4 games. In those 3 games against among the 4 teams side. Bins were also 2-1. We had Rejects who were 1-2, and if I add here Raw Sauce, they were also 1-2.
Mm-hmm.
So what do we say whenever if only 2 teams remain tied after any step? So this was the record amongst tied team step. Now we have 2 separate 2-team ties. Given that we have 2 separate 2-team ties, we're going to revert back to the first step of the 2-team tie. And what do we say that was? Head-to-head record. So we're looking at Double Dippers against Bin. Double Dippers beat Bin during the regular season. Rejects beat Raw Sauce. And that's why this is the order of the standings.
Got you. Because some people may have thought that with all of that, because Rejects and Raw Sauce were tied, it would have went to points against, right? Because that's the potential next step, but it wasn't that.
Yeah, so if we look here, more than 2 teams tied, the next step for fewest points against would have been if more than 2 teams were still tied.
with the
But if
same
only
with that same record.
but if only
Yeah.
two teams remain tied after any step, the tiebreaker reverts back to step one, which is fewest
Mm.
points, which is head to head amongst those two teams. So we can debate what's more fair or not. I mean, I like your opinion on this one. What do you think? Because let's say theoretically, Double Dippers would have beat all the teams they were tied with, and they would have been 3-0. I'll put in parentheses 3-0, and then that would have made Bins would have stayed. Let's say Double Dippers. Assume their 3-0-ness would have made Bin also be 1-2 there, and then we would have had a three-way tie at 1-2. Then Raw Sauce would have been through. Had Double Dippers been 3-0, and then we had 1-2 teams, right?
So Ross got screwed because they were only tied with one team. In other words,
Well, Raw Sauce were tied with three teams. They only beat one of them. That's essentially
Ben
what's
had a 1-2 record. It would have been
like.
then it would have been points against.
Sorry.
If let's say Ben were 1-2, then like you said, it would have been points against.
Yeah, if they were tied with multiple teams, but
Right, exactly. But since they were
in,
only tied with one team, it was head to head.
yeah, but initially they're tied with three other teams, right? They're tied with
Yeah, initially.
Rejects and Double Dippers, and amongst those three teams, they beat one of them. So already there, their chances, they're not giving themselves the best chance to make it in a four-way tie, right?
Wow, that's crazy. So like you guys had like this is like a in-depth procedure, right? Like this is something that you couldn't have like known right away, right? Like you had to look back, look at every game.
Yeah, yeah.
Like you said, it was unfortunate. Ross Sauce, like on the site, not only are they in the top seven, they're five, and then they fall to eight. So I guess you had a few messages from Ross Sauce players.
Yeah, but they understood it, and
Yeah.
with the captain, they understand the fairness in it. It's very very unfortunate. An additional reason why it's so unfortunate is if you look at Ross's end of season, um, they were sitting at they had a horrible start of their season, right? 1-3 to start, two and then they went 2-3, and then they were 2-5. But they pulled together a string of three very, very impressive wins. They beat Nice TDs 25-12, holding them to just 12 points. I know they're missing Andrew in that game, but still, they can only play against whoever's in front of them, right? Then they defeated Respect 32-26, who Respect have the first round bye. I think hands down the front runner in Division Two. And then they took care of business against Tigres in that last game this past Saturday, right? So like, what more could have Rosas done? They like those three wins were probably like their three most impressive wins. Even if you look at like every team this season, right? Sitting at 2-5, ending the season at 5-5, amongst one of the fewest points against in the division there. But yeah,
Wow, that is crazy.
do you think just looking at straight points against is more fair in this case?
No, I think like the head to head is always huge, right? Like you want to have like games mean more than like actual like points against, right? I think like when you do head to head, the games itself mean more than if you're a team that scores a bunch of points but gives up a bunch of points, because points against may not be the best indicator. But obviously it's simpler, right? If you look at if it was just points against, because the site would be able to
Yeah, yeah,
differentiate. I
yeah.
guess there's no way to change that with the site A because it's like an extra.
We're looking into it. We're looking into
Yeah,
it.
and
Uh,
then that does seem complicated.
and
But yeah,
what was I gonna say? At this point, after step one, where you see Double Dippers and Bin are 2-1, Rejects and Raw Stars are both 1-2. Given that it started as a four-team tie, after a step we got it down to a two separate two-team ties. Would you then look at the head-to-head between those two sets of two teams, or would you look at points against? Like, what do you think is better in that case?
yeah, I know what you mean. That because I thought originally, if you would have asked me, it would have been points against because it was originally a four-team tie. But I do like the separate of separating them because, like I said, then the Rossos Rejects game, I guess, because Rejects beat Rossos head to head, right? So that game is even more important than, like I said, points against. I think ultimately that's what needs to be valued more than points against, right? Because you could have a team that gives up a bunch of points but wins every game 50-49.
So, in Sir William Power's opinion, very important opinion here. We're doing it the right way.
It's unfortunate, like you said, because
Oh, it's super unfortunate. Like
yeah.
it's I saw that and like I saw Rosas were fifth in the standings and they were not in the playoffs and I was literally double checking and trying to find a way that I was wrong. Like I was hoping to be wrong for them given how well they played at the end of the season. Like this can't be true. Like why can't rejects be out instead? You know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's well, the explanation was well informed.
Yeah, and like everything I said, like if people have certain opinions on this, just because Will Power said it was the right way to do it doesn't mean it's absolutely the right way to do it. Let us know in the comments what you guys think. What is more fair? We're always open to suggestions. We obviously want like look the parity in this division too. Looking at the standings is insane. Like I don't think we could have asked for better parity here. So like if you have any suggestions, what you think is more fair, what we should do in the future, please don't hesitate to let us know. Uh, Earlier, I spoke about an irony about a forfeit game, right? Bin won. Bin lost the game to Respect, where Respect had an illegal sub that they probably would have won had they not had that sub. Obviously, we don't know, but had Respect not lost that game by forfeit, Bin would be at 4-6 out of the playoffs, and Raw Sauce would be in.
Wow.
Not only that, Bin lost to Respect, but ended up winning the game by forfeit. Rostos beat Respect on the football field, and Rostos are out, Bin are in. It's crazy how every game is important like that. Like every single game is so important. Like it was actually Ben Denis who let me know about that. Like already there was enough like crazy stuff going on in this division, and then he let me know that like that stat line or that like fun fact, and I'm like, oh my god, like that's insane. Like had been not benefited by a forfeit win, they'd be out right now, and Rostos would be in, right? But like Rostos had no control over that, and Respect, like in spite of that forfeit loss, still sit comfortably at 7-3 without needing a tiebreaker, and that did not hurt them, right?
Man, that's crazy. Wow. That is bananas. And like wow, like you said, it really is unfortunate for raw sauce. Um, but that's the way she goes sometimes.
The way she goes, man.
Yeah.
Um, so we spoke about this too a lot. We have to preview some games as well.
Yeah,
Like just
yeah,
quickly go
true.
over the games that was. We spoke about Raw Sauce, Respect. We're up 2 possessions. Villains climb back. Their playoff hopes on the line. Tying up the game and not getting that convert at the last play. Average Joe's the quarterback change. Avery taking the reins at quarterback over from Jason. Doing a hell of a job, if you ask me, beating rejects and bins, putting up 26 and 46. I was honestly surprised the rejects just put up 20 points against Average Joe's there. And Double Dippers probably not even knowing, like, had people writing to me asking what the hell's going on. A lot of Raw Sauce players, Double Dippers, I had 3 players from Double Dippers writing to me, how do we make the playoffs? Is it a mistake? So,
Wow.
so before posting the schedule, they were unaware that they were in looking at the standings, right? And I'm like, doesn't at least one person on the team read the rule book? Like, I get it's a very particular situation here, but when you go through it, like we went through it here, uh, fairly straightforward, right? Or like, is it written like in too complicated language?
No, I think the important part is that you have to separate afterwards and you go back to step one, right? Like that's
This note over here.
exactly right. Like going back to step one is the most important because, like I said, if
But
I would have
Double
assumed
Dippers were 2-1 against the three teams they were other teams they were tied with. So like they knew that like they were already in a good position there.
it's true, yeah, and it made their game this that much more important against Tigres, right?
Yeah.
Wow, yeah, because I
Although
would have
not
thought it
really
would
because like
say.
the Tigres win didn't have an impact. I mean, it had an impact. They needed the extra win,
Mhm.
but in terms of the tiebreakers, it didn't matter.
True, true, true.
But like, and a lot of people weren't understanding. Like, a lot of the question I was getting is, why are Double Dippers in and Raw Sauce out? It's not like as if Double Dippers took Raw Sauce's place. It's not a swap of Double Dippers Raw Sauce because like Double Dippers just show underneath the red line right now because they have the most points against. But throughout the whole explanation of the tiebreaker for these 4 teams, we never even spoke about points against. It never got the points against.
Hmm.
because we had that head-to-head work so well, given that everyone played exactly one time against everyone.
Like you said, the 11 teams is perfect.
Yeah, 11 and 16 are the golden numbers because in 16 division, everyone plays against each other exactly twice,
Mm.
and then in 11-team division, everyone plays against each other exactly once. So looking at these quarterfinal matchups now, rejects, Thunder Buddies, Bin, Nice TDs, Double Dippers, Average Joes. I was joking around with a few people. We finished second place in this very very tough Division Two, and our the award we're getting out of it is to play against a team that demolished us the most throughout the regular season. Um,
Shoot, that's true, eh?
yeah. So no real preview here. It's going to be a good one. You didn't face them last time. We don't know if you're going to be there this Saturday, but hopefully you can make it. Um, moving along to the next game, we got Bin, Nice TDs. Um, in the regular season, Nice TDs won it pretty convincingly, 33-12, but that was back September 7th, so we could say a little while ago. These teams have evolved ever since. Oh, damn, was Andrew not even there that game? They didn't even get a taste of Andrew Grant flash in that game. So they're not going to have their hands full in this game, right? But we know that if there's one team that finishes the season 5-5 and that wins a championship, that has the most chance to win the championship, it's been. I think they have 3 or 4 championships now to the franchise, and I'm pretty sure almost all those seasons they finished probably 5-5 when they won the championship. Um, it's that team that just finds a way to squeeze in and then play their best football in the playoffs. So
Yeah.
nice TDs should not take them lightly. But obviously, with the firepower that they have, the points for that they've been putting up, I do think they're the slight favorite in this one.
Yeah, I think they Seas are the favorites too. But like you said, Ben are arguably playing their best football right now, which is always huge heading into the playoffs. And yeah, that first that only matchup, sorry, against each other is tough, right? You want hopefully Ben have a short memory, but it was so long ago that you got to think that both teams are heading kind of in different directions than they did at the time. But yeah, I'm going. I think Nice TDs are the slight favorites. I'm gonna go Nice TDs. I'm gonna go 34-26 Nice TDs.
34-26.
Yeah, yeah, with the TDs.
I like your 26. I'm going bin with the upset 26-24.
Wow, no way.
Yeah.
Okay, I like it.
Double Dippers Average Joes are Division 3 finals rematch when Jason Armanti beat Simon Blais in that finals. We'll,
Good call.
we'll, uh, we won't have neither of those two quarterbacks quarterbacking these two teams right now, as it will be David Brisson and Avery. When they faced off in the regular season, Average Joe's won that one pretty convincingly, 33-13. Pio was subbing in at that point. Jason played one of his cleaner games, maybe with only zero interceptions. Pretty impressive there. We know the Average Joes are pretty banged up. We know that Double Dippers didn't even really know they'd be making the playoffs at this point. Um, both teams have not been like on the well. I mean, Average Joe's closed out the season pretty strongly, going 2-0. But neither team has had, I think, the season that they were hoping for this year. So it's definitely an interesting matchup.
Yeah, this one's going to be tight. I was going over the matchups throughout all the divisions. I think this was one of the toughest games for me to predict. Like you said, Avery going to be quarterback for Average Joe's now. So two different quarterbacks than we had in this game. Brisson coming back from vacation and getting the clutch win last week. I really think this game is going to come down to converts. I think that both teams are evenly matched. And it's going to be about who makes that, mistake late in the game and who's able to get a last second stop. And if not, I think this game goes to overtime, to be honest.
I can see it going into overtime. Double Dippers have had their fair share of overtime games or close to it. They beat Phoenix in overtime, and I think that Nice City's game was like one play away from going into overtime. Who do you say gets it in overtime?
Tight one, man. I think average Joe's get it done again, just like they did in the finals. Give me Joe's 32-31 in OT.
Yeah, I would have loved to disagree with you here, but I also got that slight. I don't know. I'm saying it. I'm like, double dippers are not the favorite in this one, like they usually are. I think that might play to their advantage coming into this one. Look, I like the 1 point margin, but to me, it's really a coin flip. It's really, really a coin flip. Do you have a coin around? I do have a coin around. Let's actually flip the coin to see what it is. Um, Average Joes will be heads, and double dippers will be tails.
Fair enough.
Tails. Bring double dippers.
Okay, it's good to disagree. I like it.
Yeah.
Literally a coin flip.
I mean, that's how close these Division Two games are, right? Like, it's not. We're not. I mean, it is fun to disagree, but we're not disagreeing for the fun of it now. Like, it's
Yeah,
just that.
yeah.
I mean, I didn't decide. It was the coin that decided, so don't come at me now. But yeah, that pretty much does it for Division Two. Anything else?
And I'm excited for these games. Cool that they're all on at the same time. I like that. At the same
Kind
time,
of.
so maybe
Yeah.
one finishes earlier. Get to see what happens in the other one. But three really good matchups. I like it.
Let's go to Division Five. Another division that had a bit of a not really complication. This one's much more straightforward. We had a four-way tie as well, with only two teams making it in. Not everyone played against everyone, so in this case, straight up points against. Titans,
Got
big booties,
simple,
you're in. Sorry.
simple.
Yeah, Titans, big booties, you're in. Wong Dynasty, 514. I'm sorry, but you're out. Um, There was also 23 tied with Spartans, but they beat them in the regular season. Slicks beat Jungle Squad, and Last Calls beat 28 to 3. Sorry, Last Calls beat Phoenix, and that's how you have your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 seeds. No first round buys here, so it will. Let's just see if anything crazy happened this past weekend. Um, Phoenix lost again to Big Booties. Oh yeah, well, Big Booties needed to beat Phoenix to be in, so that was a huge win for them. Titans and 514 was almost like winning you're in. It was for 514, and they dropped that one by a tight score of 12 to 7. So looking at the upcoming games now, Big Booties Slicks, Titans Jungle Squad, Spartans they last calls, 28-3 Phoenix. Which one do you want to go with first?
Let's go with the first one there. Big booty slicks. I think this has potential upset special written all over it. I know, it's 1 against 8. But think about it. Slick's just been tearing it up lately. A bunch of straight victories. They're riding their high horse. But Big Booty's needing to beat, like you said, Phoenix last week, which was arguably the best team in the division. They get the job done, and yeah, who says they can't pull off a second upset? I think this is going to be a good game, and this is going to be a lot tighter, I think, than people think.
Yeah, I'd love to agree with you, but I don't know why I'm just counting Big Booties out. I'm sorry to like Jorge, Max, Caleb, Barb, like Leanne. I have so many people that I like on that Big Booties team. I wish them all the best. But if I'm trying to be non-biased here, I don't think it's gonna be close. Like I just want to look. I don't know if you saw while you were speaking. I want to go see the sack leaders in on Big Booties. They have a total of 4 sacks on the season. Um, Luca has gotten way better as a passer. Like if you look at the stats here, over almost 1,300 yards, 33 touchdowns, but his running ability has not gotten weaker. Making a bigger effort to throw the ball more, distributing the ball better. Um, but look, I don't think anyone on this Slicks teams would be upset if Luca run every second play if that's what was needed to do. I'm not saying he needs to, but if that's what was needed to do to win this game, and unless Max rushes in this game like for the whole game, and that'll obviously open up holes in the back end, right? But I don't know if big booties have the force and the system to take away those running lanes from Luca and eliminate his big playability, right? Um, Look, Pirat, David Scott, he has a bunch of weapons that he's used to throwing the ball to now. This team has that chemistry. Look, for Big Booty's first season with Jorge under center, it has been a success. They squeezed in that playoff spot. They finished 5-5. Um, but one thing that I do have to say for Big Booty is that this was probably their most impressive win, uh, beating Phoenix 24-18. Max was not there. So I know that Jorge has been like leaning towards Max a lot for those like in the huddle plays when he's panicking and not sure what to do. But I hope this game gives him the confidence that like he can do it. Like I don't know. I subbed in Laval with Panthers V2 on Sunday because they're really um, shorthanded. And like they were asking me for some tips before the playoffs, and them too. They have a quarterback which is first season quarterbacking, and I'm like, one of the things that you got to be confident in your play calls. He's giving the play call and he's telling his receivers what routes to run, and he's like second guessing. He's not sure. He's asking if that's okay with them, and I'm like, no, you're the quarterback. You're the offensive coordinator. You're in charge. Like if you show confidence in calling your plays and you know what play you want to go to next, your receivers will run their route with more credibility and more assurance, right? And it really starts with that. It's like a simple little thing. If you're second guessing yourself, it'll show, and it'll show in the way you play. So like, I'm very happy for Jorge getting this win without Max. Obviously, Max can only elevate him to a next step. Like I'm not saying that. I'm not saying the opposite. Now, don't get me wrong. Like I'm just saying that like if he's this good and Max was not there, it could only be better after that. But he should know that he's this good. He won 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, over 200 yards against a really, really, really good Phoenix team. That should give him all the confidence in the world. But to go back to this game, it's going to be really tough for Big Booties. It's going to be really, really tough. Slicks didn't finish first in the standings for nothing, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I love Slicks. They're definitely a super solid squad, and but like you said, I think that's perfect analysis there. Max wasn't at the game, and they were still able to put up, 4 TDs in that one, and Jorge went without throwing a pick. Look, I said upset special, this, that, and the other thing. I do think that they're going to cover the spread, Big Booties, but I do think Slicks are going to win this game.
What would you say the spread is?
I say the spread's probably 13.5.
Okay, I think
13.5
that's fair.
Slicks.
And
Yeah,
you
I
think Big Booties
say,
cover?
yep, I see 26-19 for Slicks.
When it rains, it pours, man. I see the. I'm taking Slicks and points in this one.
To cover two.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Jungle Squad Titans.
Big win for Titans last week.
Did they play in the regular season? They did not face off in the regular season. I actually like this matchup for Titans. Um, Titans have had a disappointing season to say the least, right? One of the perennial Division 5 teams here, we're maybe expecting a little more from them, especially in this edition of Division 5. But one thing that does stand out, I think they finished with the fewest points against in the whole division. So that's definitely good. We know that Stephen Bitto is very sure-handed here, leading the team with 61 receptions. And Robert Thomas likes to sling it, right? Like he likes to go deep, throwing a bit more interceptions than I would have liked. But in this game, it's all about limiting your mistakes. If Titans don't turn the ball over and don't throw any interceptions, I cannot see them losing this game. So that's the key to victory for them, in my opinion.
It's a good call. It's a good Jungle Squad defense, though, right? Like that, and them themselves only giving up, just over 15 points a game. I gotta think they're gonna get at least 1 or 2 picks in this one. This is another tough one to decide. Titans are really up and down, right? And that's something that we've been saying from the beginning of like our show starting. Was that Titans could beat any team, but they could also lose to any team. I'm going Jungle Squad here. I'm going Jungle Squad. The more complete team, the team that kind of just is a little bit more consistent. I think that's big coming into the playoffs. Goldrick got quarterback, 34 touchdowns on the season. I do think it'll be a good game, but I'm gonna go Jungle Squad here, 25-18.
I'm also going Jungle Squad on this one in a tight one scoring game.
Good though. I like it's the first time they'll play each other though. It's always exciting.
Yeah. You're We got next Spartans, the last calls. They play in the regular season. No, they did not either. So we know the last calls have a very explosive offense. We know they could score literally on any play with Sebastien just running a go route and Guillaume throwing it over the top. 19 touchdowns in 10 games, over 750 yards, 60 receptions. I don't know what Spartans can do to guard that because no one in the whole division had an answer for that all season long, right? Look, Alexis Doré leading the team with 17 sacks is definitely going to help. You have 9 picks by GF, so having like a Division Two All Star on this team on that defense for sure helps. But Sebastian's he's a beast, man. He's a baller. It's going to be a good game, and the Spartans actually close out the season pretty well with 4 straight wins after 3 straight losses. So they really showed us that they can be among the best in this division, right? Including a huge win against Phoenix there. What do you think?
Like you talk about you traveling, right? And guys following certain guys in the NFL, like will a DB stay in front of this receiver the whole game? For me, wherever Sebastian lines up, JF's got to be in front of him. Like you said, 9 picks on the season, 11 passes defended to. So that's got to be the game plan. And see if the last calls can win with somebody else, putting up touchdowns, putting up yards, putting up points for the Spartans. I think that's going to be huge. I think this needs to be the season for the last calls, right? There's no really, I guess you could say, maybe true heavy favorite number one. They've always been top of the standings, and come playoff time, they haven't really produced like you want them to. So I think the last calls have a bit of a chip on their shoulder heading into this one. I think this could be a good high scoring game. I'm gonna go the last calls here. I'm gonna go 31-26. The last calls, and maybe a big win for them to propel their championship run.
I'm going to last calls 36-21. I agree
Well,
with what you
15
said though.
points.
Sorry?
Yeah. But a bit of a one-sided game.
Yeah. It's going to be close in the first half, and they're going to take it away in the second half.
Good stuff.
Yeah. We got Phoenix and 20-3 left. I think these guys played against each other in the regular season. And correction, they did not this year. I remember Kevin talking about he had bet with Nico Hertz a case of beer. They usually have a bet going on, and I guess that was in the spring then. Trying to make sure I'm not crazy here. Does that ring a bell to you?
No, but I'm sure they're going to be betting a case of beer in this one. That's for sure. But
What's,
what time?
what's for
Yeah,
sure?
they're going to be betting a case of beer in this one.
Oh, they were in Division 4, both of them, I think.
23, 3 o'clock. Yeah, let's say the winner of this game. It'll perfect. They'll be late enough to drink beer after the game, right?
It's never too early, no? Ask Brossard.
Preach. It's gonna be a good game though. 4 against 5
Right
seed.
here. This is what I was talking about.
Oh, okay. Oh, tight game.
Tight game that Kevin lost, even though he threw his original name 12 times in that game. Not all the same at all the same team over here. So we have many besides Big Booties and Slicks, all the other 3 quarterfinals Division 5 have not faced off this season. Obviously Phoenix having the better season, but a very tough end to their season, right? I believe they were sitting comfortably at that 1 spot and having beaten Jungle Squad. They pretty much thought they had clinched the 1 spot there, starting 6-0 and going 1-3 in their last 4 games, losing to Late Last Call, Spartans, and Big Booties. Only scoring 18 points in their last 2 games, in each of their last 2 games. Do they fix their problems before 3 p.m. this Saturday?
That's $1 million question. I don't think so. I think 28-3 right now. Yeah, Seeing look, 3 losses of the last 4 games. I'm big on heading into the playoffs with a victory, or at least playing competitive football. And look, they have played competitive football, but to lose 2 in a row, and like you said, Kevin's been playing well this season, but to only put up 18 each of the last 2 games, 20-3. Talk about their about with them, their offensive side of the ball is always going to be productive, but I like their defense too as well. I think that's something we don't talk about as enough. I think 28-3 come away with the victory, and I say Phoenix scores 18 again, but 20-3 score
Ooh,
19. 19-18 regulation, 28-3 advance.
I like it. I like it. Look, Kevin did put up 44 touchdowns in 10 games, which is pretty crazy considering he only put up 18 points in those last two games, right? 10 more touchdowns than anyone else in the division. Um, yeah, I agree with you. I think Kevin and Phoenix only put up 18, but they're winning this game 18-12.
Defensive affair.
Yeah,
I like. So I think that's the only different pick so far at least in this division.
it is indeed. So we did Division Two. We just did Division Five. Um, there are only quarterfinals in Montreal this Saturday. So there's no women's and no Division One game, but we'll go over them just to see what happened. Um, the standings is set. Steelers 10-0. We actually have two undefeated teams this MFL season. So Steelers and Witching Hour, congratulations. 10-0 is very, very impressive. Although it does not mean anything if you don't hoist the trophy at the end of the season, right? You won't remember it for good reasons. But it'd be a shocker, especially in this women's division. If Steelers did not win the championship, I'd really be shocked. They did everything well in that game against Des Drapeau. Um, Kelly went down with an ankle injury. I really hope she's doing okay and she'll be at 120% for the playoffs. Big piece for this team. But this Steelers team is it's to me it's Steelers of the field, and I'm taking Steelers.
Really, yeah, it's tough. Something about Tigres, I don't know. It's hard for me to count them out. I do think Steelers are the favorites. Um,
They're more than the favorites.
I think if I'm betting money right now, I'm putting money on Tigres.
What do you want to bet?
Vidal's trio.
Then ask me more than that.
Okay, deal. Okay, wait. What if neither of them win?
Well, first that won't happen,
Yeah.
and second, no one gets anything.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, we'll go. Okay, so do McDonald's trio, the whole works, right? The coffee, the ice cream, the trio, and everything. And then and then I guess the next time we go to MFL, which is going to be in a while, someone's got to pay someone's lunch.
What do you mean next time we go to MFL is going to be in a
Yeah,
while?
no, I guess that means next season. So
But wait, why wouldn't it be like this Saturday? Oh, because after the finals. Well, my bad.
yeah,
Yeah, in my mind, I already won this bet. That's why I was thinking you're going to pay off this Saturday.
yeah.
Um, you want to double it? The two of them?
Oh, but I'm always down. Come on now.
Okay, so two.
Yeah, deal.
Okay,
Trio, everything.
okay. Just to be nice with you, because I feel I'm kind of ripping you off here, and it's not a fair
No,
bet.
no, no, no. We're doing straight up. We're not doing 2-1, 1-2, 6 to seven
How are
point
they
three.
giving you 3-2 odds? Like,
No, no, we're not doing that. We're doing straight up.
but you have the underdog here.
No, no, I agree. I agree. That's okay.
You're okay
I'm
with
okay.
that?
Yep.
So you want to do 3-3 then?
Oh, like three trios to three trios? Okay, deal.
Really?
Yeah.
You're really high on these Tigres?
There look, I am. And look, I get that Steelers are the favorites. It's just a gut feeling
Okay, I'll
by
give
the
you
least.
I'll give you the
But
field. I'll take Steelers. You'll take the field. Like, I really feel bad now.
we could do that, but it's going to be Tigres, but okay.
You wanna go higher than three, or is three your cap?
Yeah, but I'm a baller, bro. I'll go to as many as you want.
10?
Bro, let's go. 10, 20, 30.
Yeah, you're gonna have to you're gonna be on the streets now. Come on.
Yeah, but for real.
Okay, we'll leave it three.
Yeah, 3 sounds good.
You'd really be willing to go higher?
Yeah, bro. It's you gotta put your money where your mouth is, like they say.
Okay. Um.
But
Okay.
all
Yeah.
that to say, incredible season for Steelers. Yes.
Yes. Um. Dirty Charlotte, they got their first win with the help of a lot of sub players, but nonetheless, they got their first win there. Um. And yeah, I just want to talk about Steelers a little bit more because they have so many weapons on this team. Look at how many girls have over 200 yards or even up over 100 yards. Like the ball distribution in terms of receptions, yards, touchdown is phenomenal. Branda 39 to 11 touchdown to interception ratio, 1,600 yards through 10 games is really, really strong. And even on defense, right? You got like how many ball hawks here, right? Kelly with 8 picks, Tatiana with 6, Melissa Ann with 6, Christelle with 5. Like it's even Monica with 4. Like literally, Christelle with 18 PDs.
Yeah, is that a record? Like that's crazy.
It's probably up there for yeah.
Yeah, I was just looking at that when you pulled it up, and I was like 18 PDs. I mean, definitely probably the woman's record, but I don't know if I've ever seen 18 PDs in a season in any division.
We'll find out. Yeah.
But to add on to your point is not Steelers are not only winning games, but they're crushing teams, right? Their points against is 74. The point differential is plus 242. Just this past weekend, DS are a solid team, right? That were in the championship game last season. They beat them
Yeah.
by 37 points, right?
Yeah.
This is impressive. A win is a win, and it doesn't matter really how much you win by, but just this is a well-oiled machine right now on both sides of the football, and it's they're the favorites, like you said, and it's I think it's going to be if it comes down to Steelers Tigres in the championship game, it's going to be a good one. But they have to have their hands full. So are the
Yeah.
signs correct? 3 and 4 are
Yes,
correct.
yes, yes.
Yeah,
I
it's
feel
gonna be.
that it's unfortunate for like upset specials because I think that DS have a stronger matchup against Tigres and Majestic Divas have a stronger matchup against Steelers. I don't know if like I'm right in saying that, or if maybe they prefer playing who they will be playing. But I just feel that DS would have probably had a chance to pull off the upset against Tigres, whereas it's going to be very unlikely against Steelers. But yeah, we'll talk about that next week because they're not playing this weekend. They're playing on November 9th. Another team that's playing on November 9th will be A Team and Iron Wolves. Um, so there's no Division One quarterfinal game this weekend. November 9th will be that semifinal between Iron Wolf and A Team, and then the finals that will be hosted by Outlaws will be on November 16th. Pocket Rocket get their first win, and it could have been PO's best game in the MFL. 305 yards, 7 touchdowns, 1 interception against this great KLB team. And I'm just going to say Defensive Player of the Year, Alexandre Valia getting 3 other sacks over here. So impressive. But yeah, I just wanted to shout out Pocket Rockets for getting in the dub column over there.
That was huge. I saw Jeremy make a really nice catch over Plough in the early parts of the game.
Doesn't he always?
Yeah, climbing the ladder.
But yeah, this is going to be A team Iron Wolves in semifinals. Did you guys go all out in that game, or was it about the stats? Like I don't know if you know, but there was a quarterback race, and I think that game played a big role to it. Obviously, like look at this here. You're leading in yards. Dave's leading in touchdowns. Um, yeah, that A-Team Arnold's game, was it for the best quarterback of the year award, or did you guys both show your plays? Were they playing like with the intensity that they really wanted to win? How was what was the vibe in that game?
Yeah, no, it was a really honestly, it felt like a playoff game. It really felt like a
Okay,
playoff
people
game.
cared.
The what?
People cared.
Yeah, no, 100% people cared. There was celebrations, there was, some talking with the referee, talking amongst teammates, amongst opponents. It was a really fun game. It honestly really felt like a playoff game. We didn't want to go 0-2 against them, right? And have to play them in just under 2 weeks now. And I think they didn't want to head into the semifinals game having lost to us. So I think it was a heck of a game. It was a back and forth game actually. I know we won by 9, but A team took the lead late in the second half. Our defense stood tall. We ended up scoring on a few drives late in the game. It really did feel like a semifinals matchup, and you couldn't have asked for a better one, right? We went 1-1 against each other during the season. We had two pretty tight games against each other, and I'm already excited for the semis.
Yeah. How no, how about the actual curricular activities? Any of that?
No, it was more to the refs. I think there was a few calls that were 50-50 that 18 didn't like, and even a few that we thought we should have had on our side. But things were good. Andrew had a nice celebration after a sick touchdown.
What do you do?
Um, he did that like reviving the football, like somebody call an ambulance.
He didn't get flagged for it, did he?
No, he didn't. He didn't.
Okay.
So no, it was a good game, fun game, high scoring game, and yeah, it was exciting.
Who deserves best quarterback?
It's got to be that guy from Iron Wolves. I don't know who he is, but no, it's tough. It is tough because
If you add Stephen Brady's stats together, they would have been 58, 54 to 8. Would have been made the race even tighter.
yeah, I think yeah, they would have probably had that one. Um, well, it's tight. Look, Dave. Um, I mean, he is leading in both the most important statistical categories, right? More touchdowns and less picks. Um, yeah, there's more yards on for my
Sorry,
part.
putting you on the spot here. You'd have to be a.
No, it's close. I think I gave it to Dave.
Yeah, it's gonna be a tight race. It's gonna be a tight vote there. It's probably not gonna be unanimous, that's for sure.
It's
Even the
conference.
converts, the 9-11, 11-9.
Yeah,
Yeah. Anyways, that's what's the most important hardware for here, right? We both know that A team want to go back on as champions, and Arnos want their first Division One championship. Um, do they have one?
they've
Uh,
won. No, I don't
well, like back when there was only one
remember.
division, right?
Oh, true.
I thought maybe, but no.
Okay, well,
Lots of orange, yellow. I mean, over here, eh?
yeah, yeah, for real.
Man, it would be great to get Holy Trollers and Colcutt back in this division,
Yeah, imagine having competitive Div 1 without Gukuk and like you said, shoulders too.
and there'd be more than 3 teams that make the playoffs.
Yeah, for real.
All right, we'll talk about the matchup more in depth next week, as you guys are all on a bye. Do you think the double bye could hurt Outlaws?
Potentially, I was thinking about that. It's a long time
Even
not to
triple
have played
bye, because
football,
their
right?
last game is they didn't even play this past weekend, right? The last game I think was October 19th.
So that'd be 3 straight weeks of them not having played.
Yeah,
I know it'd be it's almost a month in between games, right? October 19th, the next game is November 16th.
yeah, and October has 31 days too. So
There you go.
yeah, Division 3. So secure top shooters after starting, I think like almost 0-4, 0-3 for sure here. 0-3, ending the season 6-4, even defeating the Tropic Thunder, their first win. They get the tiebreaker over them for the 3 seed. Um, Arnold's Drama Club, Turf Ninjas, this one came down to points against because they didn't all play an equal amount of times against each other. And you look here, Drama Club got 48 points scored on them. Turf Ninjas got 27 scored on them. Drama Club made it in by a single point.
Holy. Yeah, it's man, imagine Drama Club giving up 48 and then slipping out of the playoffs. That score surprised me.
Which one? Oh, they were missing a lot of players. Like they basically
Yeah,
showed up to play the game to not forfeit the loss, right?
that is true. Yeah.
Um, so anything else that was? Sourpuss defeating Tropic Thunder there. That was pretty surprising. Sourpuss having a strong end to their season. Too little, too late. Um,
Yeah, Blitzing Bastards surprised me. I thought that was going to be a team to watch out for.
yeah, so let's go over these games here that are upcoming. CIA Fusion and Ducks getting those much needed first round bye. Congratulations. 8-2, 7-3. That could be your finals preview there. They played against each other, very tight games in the regular season. We got Secure Top Shooters Drama Club. They did play against each other in the regular season, but I would not put much into that game. Um, 56-6. Mike Jazz making his season debut as quarterback here. His favorite target was none other than Nico Potvin, throwing him 3 touchdown passes in this one on the exact same route.
Oh yeah.
I think like back to back to back. So yeah, Marvin was obviously still injured over here. They had 5 players with 2 subs that they picked up from a Division 5 team. This game literally means nothing except that the Simon Valiquette Benjamin Denis connection is going as strong as it has been. Ben having, I think, one of his most impressive seasons: 53 catches, almost 600 yards, 13 touchdowns in 9 games. But important to know, he did play quarterback in one of those games. And I also subbed in one of those games where he played receiver and it was pouring, so he didn't get many catches there. So essentially, almost doing all of this in 7 games, basically. Clearly, Simon Valiquette's favorite target. So yeah, this is definitely going to be a good game. Look, they have a good rusher in Greg, 11 sacks on the season, but Marvin's special, right? Um, it's gonna come down to, can you stop Marvin's rushing ability, right?
Yeah, it's like how many sacks does Craig need to get in order to like limit this offense? That's I think going to be a question. Maybe 3 plus. I think maybe he gets 1 or 2 in this game. Um, I can see this game also coming down to converts. It's also going to be like who's going to be able to keep their cool the longest. But it's two like passionate Simon and Marv, 2 passionate guys, 2 passionate quarterbacks. Things may not go super well to start the game. Things may go very well to start the game. It's going to be about keeping emotions in check throughout the entirety of the game. I think.
Yeah, that's a good call. That's a good call. Yeah. Who do you got?
Give me the upset. I'm going to go Drama Club. Well, potential upset 26-24 Drama Club.
I like it. I've been going back and forth in my head since before. I definitely think it's gonna be a close one. Um, I think Secure Top Shooter coming in strong in this one. It's Marvin's only game of the day. He's not playing with Outlaws. I like Secure in a go 32-30 win.
Yeah, I think around that scoreline, that'll be a good game to watch. 2 good games to watch at 10:30.
Yeah, and then we got Tropic Thunder, Iron Wolves coming up next. Uh, let's see. When they played in the regular season, they played twice in the regular season, splitting them 1-1. Tropic Thunder winning the first one, 34-32. Iron Wolves 39-24. This is it's gonna be a really good game. Yeah. What do you like?
I love the way Iron Wolves finished the season. Right there is
I mean, they finished the loss.
yeah, no, I think the last few games, right? Weren't they like battling for a
Yeah,
while
they
there?
finished 3 and
Yeah,
1.
right. Three of their last 4 games. Okay, yeah, the way they ended their last game wasn't the best, but honestly, look, they're competitive in that game too. Putting the offense really clicked, right? Putting up 39, 34, and then 29 again. Tropic Thunder, them kind of the opposite, right? Starting off the season a little bit hot, and then coming down to earth a little bit after that. A lot of experience in this game, right? You got John, you got Josh, you got Stu, you got Rob White. So it's going to be,
MFL Legends.
yeah, exactly. Carlos
Definitely the
too. So
Legends game.
yeah, man,
Both teams finishing with the exact same number of points for too. Yeah, this game has overtime written all over it.
I'm going 27-26 regulation Iron Wolves. Touchdown to Carlos last play of the game, and then he gets the extra point convert.
I also like Iron Wolves in a very, very tight game. Both teams have had their up and down during the regular season, but I just like the experience of John at the quarterback position a tad bit better. Yes, there's a boatload of experience on this team, and yes, Justin has played well at the quarterback position this season. But I just got Iron Wolves with a slight edge here. Then go 26-25.
Yeah, those are really two we talk about like coin flips. I think those are two coin flips.
Yeah, it just shows the parity in the division right here too. You see that that middle of the standing is tight.
Yep.
Division 4 is the only one we got left for Montreal, right?
Believe so.
So over here, unfortunately, for Nothing But D and Mustard Tigers, that beautiful tent, you're out. Witching Hour Blue Badgers, you get the two buys here. They played against each other. Blue Badgers got demolished by Witching Hour, and that one could have been a finals preview. Maybe they were not showing what they actually are to save that for the finals because they didn't want to give the recipe. They knew they didn't have the one. They could not have had the one seed no matter what. Congratulations to Witching Hour. 10-0, insane regular season. Now you're 0-0. You got 0 wins, 0 losses in the playoffs. Now's where it matters. We've seen crazy upsets happen before. So we had a three-way tie. Hawks, Action Squad, Fat Players. Action Squad are the 4 seed because they defeated Hawks and Fat Players. Here, there's I close the rule book now, but in part 1, you know how we say you have to play an equal amount of times against your opponents. There's an exception to that. If you beat everyone who you're tied with, assuming you played everyone at least once, and you have no losses against those teams, you do have the tiebreaker. So that's the case for Action Squad. They beat Hawks and Fat Players. They didn't lose to neither team during the regular season. It doesn't change any of the matchups here. It just changes that Action Squad have won the coin toss and have home field advantage. So we could start off with that game. They did defeat Hawks during the regular season. It was actually during the last game of the regular season. They only played once, I believe. Yeah. So who knew that game would have been for seeding? Goldrick and Thomas each throwing 2 picks in that game. Not Thomas's best game there, so I do think that they could play better come playoff time. He ran a whopping 15 times for 57 yards. Who do you like in this game?
How many teams is Yavar on? I think he's on a team from every
4?
one of 5 divisions.
Yeah, I think he's on 3 or 4. He's on Spartans. He's on Action Squad. He's on Thunder Buddies.
Yeah.
3 teams for sure.
Good for him. Old guy getting in some licks.
Yeah, 8 for 80. That was a good game for him. But yeah, we got the battle of the whites in this game, right? Justin White against Robert White.
Yep. 2 top. Oof. Shoot. I had a feeling I was gonna. Okay, no, I'm sticking with it.
You had a feeling what?
No, I said I was gonna go with one team before seeing this, and now I'm debating, but I'm still gonna stick. I'm gonna go with Hawks in this one.
I'm going Action Squad. I just think that Thomas had a great season as a quarterback, but Gold has been there, done that. You know, Gold has won a championship as a quarterback in this league, and I just think that that experience, like he went through his shortfalls, his mistakes, and I just think that like it's so evenly matched. Like it's 50-50 in this one. Like I almost flip a coin, but when it's that close, I tend to lean to experience the same way I gave Iron Wolves the nod against Tropic Thunder. And I'm realizing that by doing that twice, I'm going against Rob White in both of those picks. But don't worry, Rob. I got us with Thunder Buddies. Yeah, the quarterback play is just so important. Like it sucks, but like you win as a team, you lose because of your quarterback, basically. What they say, obviously not the case, but and I just think that if push comes to shove and there's that additional stress factor late in the game where you need a score, you know when you're going pound for pound with the other team and the score is tied and you trust your defense and all that, and then like you have the ball on offense and you need a score. I just feel that Action Squad and Goldrick under center are probably gonna have the experience to do so a tad bit more than Hawks.
Yeah, and that's so they do have the edge for experience for sure. And I think that maybe it's the youth from Hawks that propels them, right? That
Yeah,
young buck there, Thomas, jumping on his horse and rushing for a bunch of yards. But like what you said, Battle of the Whites here. You know, Justin White making his name in the MFL, Robert White playing for many years now. Two top players. And whoever has the better stat line in this game, they win the game.
you think it comes down to that?
I think so. I think if Rob has a better stat line, they win. And I think if Justin has a better stat line, Action Squad win. And I think go Rob White just by a little bit in this one.
Slot machine FAT players, otherwise known as Système Urbain, making the playoffs in their second MFL season. Good for them. This was actually a crazy game that occurred at Lebert. I think when we were giving out those Hall of Fame trophies, awards, um these were the two teams that were playing later in that time slot. Look, okay, I didn't realize that Slot Machine without their quarterback in that one. Kyle filling out actually very nicely, 5 touchdowns to 0 picks. Anytime you could throw 0 interceptions as the actual quarterback is very impressive. Let alone when you're the second or third quarterback and you come into the game not really having thrown all season long. That's very, very impressive for Kyle there. Also rushing 12 times for 22 yards helps. Um, but in spite throwing 3 picks for Leon, FAT players did come back and win this one, scoring a touchdown on close to the last play and then getting the 2 points. Um, and we're FAT players without one of their main targets, Sean Kennedy. Yeah, Sean Kennedy was even missing in this game here, so obviously, the quarterback has more weight, but Kyle filled in very nicely for Giovanni there. You can say that FAT players are missing more of their stronger players, right? Um, Looking at the season they had, like you see, the ball distribution is pretty like I'd say actually very good. You see that you got 5 players with over 26 receptions, and this is like Leon came to this team only having thrown to Sean before, I believe. So to have that chemistry with other players like Vincent Martel with 12 touchdowns in the season, over 500 yards. Dominique saw 8 touchdowns, 45 catches, 437 yards is very impressive, to say the least. Um, Slot Machine, your Division 5 spring champions, right? I think it was an undefeated season they had. Very, very impressive. They move up to Division 4, 6-4, third place finish, very respectable. They have a few other ballers also playing in higher divisions now. Who do you like in this one?
Man, I got this as game of the week.
Really?
Yeah,
So many good games, and this is the one you're penciling in?
yeah, right here.
I like
FAT
it.
players, slot machine, game of the week throughout all 5 divisions. Well, some of them there were not playing, but throughout all the games happening this weekend, this is game of the week. I got 40-39, back and forth type game. I really do think it's going to be all offense. It's going to be a bunch of Eric making catches in this game, Kyle making catches for slot machine, a lot of Leon to Sean Kennedy in this game, and to Lassard as well. I'm going to go FAT players, regulation 40-39, very similar to what happened in the regular season game. They get a touchdown late, go for one, take the lead, and defense stands up for FAT players with only a few seconds left. I'm really excited for this game. This is going to be a 12 o'clock game. Maybe I'll be roughing it. That'd be kind of cool. But yeah, I got FAT players winning this game and what should be a shootout.
It's not the same. What's the word I'm looking for? Suspense feel when you tie it up on the last play, and then You're going for the win, but worst case, you're gonna
Yeah.
go in overtime and you don't lose. It's a whole different feel when you score, you're down 7, you score to be down 1 point, and you decide to go for two. Like that, that takes some you know what, right?
Yeah.
Um, I really like FAT players. I could really see them winning this game, but my something's telling me Slot Machine aren't gonna come out victorious in this one. So I'm going with Slot Machine. I like the high scoring, but I have a 37-31 score line for Slot Machine.
Which defense gets to stop first may very well come down to that.
Yeah, yeah. So that's it for all our Montreal divisions. Exciting for Laval and Brossard. We're going to crown our champions this weekend, our first ever Laval champion. We'll get into that in a sec. But any other words for Montreal as a whole?
I'm pumped. Glad. Well, first of all, so it looks like LeBear will be the host of all the playoff games. That's the best news of them all. Be good to have everybody at the same field this weekend. I just think that look, we talked about it a lot, and it may sound cheesy and repetitive, but I think throughout all divisions, you got a lot of games that could come down to the wire, right? I don't think throughout, if we're looking at all of the games happening this weekend, there's not even maybe one or two of them that have a blowout written all over it. I think we're gonna have good games. We're gonna have tight games, and so I'm excited for that.
Yeah, I agree. Most all those games are going to be tight ones. So what do you want to do first, Laval or Brossard?
We'll save Laval for last.
Okay. So Brossard Division 1 or 2? Hey,
Yeah, so we're two. Yeah.
you bugged there?
No, I did. I said two. I think your thing glitched.
Uh, yeah, so Brossard Division 2, we had that. It's kind of similar to Division 1 in Montreal. One team gets a straight bye to the finals. Then you got that semifinal matchup. Um, Perchaud beat Impact on the last regular season week. They were tied at 1-1 head to head. Perchaud have the head to head, but unfortunately they lost the game by forfeit during the regular season. And because of that, they're now the 2 seed, and they have to face off against Furious Not Fast, who just updated their logo. So right there, they have the momentum riding, right?
Right.
Um, pretty nice. Um,
That's a huge loss. Well, forfeit loss.
yeah, yeah, and that came back and bit them in the derriere. Um, but Furious Not Fast, not really ending the season as they would have liked, losing in overtime to Impact. And also losing to White Lightning. Rob White getting the dub there. So coming to this playoffs after starting 3-0 on the season, I know they're a little banged up here, but I'd say clear underdogs in this one, right? Like Perchaud, you can argue are probably one of the better teams in the probably the best team that should have probably otherwise finished first if it wasn't for that forfeit loss. But not only did they won the game that they ended up forfeiting. So they would have been 8-2, clear cut number one. That forfeit brings them 7-3, and moves a tiebreaker. So it's essentially like as if it's two L's in that one because they're automatically losing any tiebreaker, right? Um, at that point.
It's exactly that becomes massive, and I do forfeits do suck, so I kind of do like that rule, even though it's
Um,
tough.
Furious Not Fast played against Perchaud, and that was actually the team that Perchaud forfeited against. Um, and Furious Not Fast actually beat them earlier in the season, but I think Perchaud were missing Louis, their quarterback, in that one. So they had a they had a quarterback roulette over there. Dobbs took advantage of that. But look, if there is one quarterback in this division that's capable of upsetting another team that knows how to play the quarterback position really well, it is Ryan Dobbs, right? 28 touchdowns, 14 interceptions. A lot of players here that he has not really played with, but a few that he has. But as much as I want to believe, I just think this Perchaud team is way too strong, and I don't know if they'll have the power to the furiousness or the fastness to take away anything from Les Perchaud.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough. I think when you're underdog in a game, you got to start quick, start fast. You got to be the first team to score. I think that's huge. You'll probably start with the ball on on offense. I think Fury's not fast, so got to make sure you score on that possession. Maybe even get a stop early on in the game, to show that you're capable. But look, they did beat them early on in the season. It was without Perchaud's QB, but Perchaud were still able to put up 31 points. So I expect, a bit more of a lower scoring game in this one, but I think I'm with you on this one. I do expect they show to win. I'm gonna go 25-18 here.
Yeah, I'm also going Perchaud, and then we have a Perchaud Impact Finals. I guess we got to preview that one as well because we're not gonna have another show for Brossard or Laval be in between. When they faced off in the regular season, Perchaud won 28-24, Impact won 31-25, and and then Perchaud won the last one 34-28. Very close games indeed, all within one touchdown. Super exciting. That will be a great Division Two finals. Man, it's a coin flip for me.
Yeah, so what? Perchaud are 2-1. Give me Impact setting up the season series at 2-2 and winning the championship.
I like it. I like it a
Yeah,
lot. But I'm gonna stick with my preseason favorites in Les Perchauds, and I'm gonna say Perchaud are your Brossard Division Two champions. After, I believe, having a winless season once upon a time. Let's go back to where they first came in, 3-7, spring 2023. How about fall 2022? Were they there? No, I think that was their first season, and they were 3-7.
that's
Uh,
impressive though, to go from 3-7 to 1 win away from being crowned champions.
yeah, but also Impact had a 4-6 season in the spring, and now they're 1 win away. They're in the finals, right? Yeah, sure. Actually, 2 wins away. Correct what you just said.
Yeah, true, true, true.
They're 1 win away in your prediction that they're already in the finals.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah.
All right, Brossard Division One. 4 teams made it in. Uh, so we actually had a little bit of a situation here. Punisher Spartans. They 1-1 in season head to head. Looking at points against them, right? The natural thing to do, right?
Yep.
Punishers had 2 wins by forfeit. So those are 2 wins where they had 0 points against scored on. Obviously, we can't change the rules mid-season. There's nothing in the rule book against that. But that gave them the edge over Spartans to finishing first. I was just so thankful that this was not for one team to make it in, one team to make it out, because then we would have never heard the end of it. Obviously, you can't do anything there. Punishers did not forfeit those games. It was the other their opponents. Spartans could be happy they got to play 2 more meaningful games that Punishers did not. But yeah, that's why Punishers are at the 1, Spartans are at the 2. Southsiders sneaking in on the 4 seed. Old School are out. So we got Spartans, Red Knot Skins, Southsiders, Punishers. Who do you like in each of those games?
Yeah, these are going to be really good games here. Talk about tight, evenly matched, 7-3, 7-3, 6-4. So Spartans playing Red Knot Skins in this one. I did say it a little while back. Red Knot Skins were my favorites, but I like the way Avery's playing the quarterback position both in Montreal and in Brossard here. So I'm going to give the edge to Spartans. Spartans win. I'm going to go 31-27 in this one.
31-27 Spartans?
Yeah, Spartans win by 4. Good game.
I like Spartans a lot. They got some good players, some good talent. They've been playing for a really, really long time together, and I think that's great. But just something about this Red Knot Skins team is telling me don't count me out, so I'm going Red Knot Skins.
It's good. 4 good squads, man. 4 good squads.
Yeah. And then Punishers, Southsiders. Let's see now. Southsiders played Punishers twice in the regular season. Punishers demolished them the first game 43-7, and then Southsiders actually won the second one in a very, very low scoring game of 13-12. We know Guillaume can sling it for Southsiders, but Danny Carrier has also had a pretty good season himself on Punishers. I believe this is a different quarterback who they had from last season, right? It was, oh no, it was Danny as well. Um, yeah, look, Punishers, Spartans both started the season in Division Two last season in Brossard, and they're your 1 and 2 seed in Division One. That's a pretty impressive storyline, especially if they could meet in the finals. But I am going Punishers over Southsiders in this one in a very, very close affair. 26-20.
I like Punishers too. I think that it won't be as one-sided as when they won early on in the season. But I do think like overall, you look at both sides of the football, right? I think they play really good complementary football, offense, defense, and ball distribution is pretty good there for them. So yeah, I'm gonna go 25-20 in this one for Southside for sorry Punishers.
So a 1 point different from what I said.
Yeah, hey, is it great minds think alike.
Yes. Sorry, Guillaume. Guillaume's gonna be upset with this one.
You can prove us wrong.
Yeah, prove us wrong. What Willie loves to say. All right, and then who do you got in the finals? I have a Red Knot Skins Punishers finals, and you have Spartans Punishers finals.
I got a 1-2 finals, and I got this game going to triple overtime.
Ooh.
I'm gonna go 37-36 for those angry and great Spartans players that come out victorious in this one. And like I said, I just like the way Avery's playing. It really is like when we talk about teams coming in, at the right spot, right time, of the right season for playoffs. I think that's the case for both these teams, both having great regular seasons. But I'm gonna give the slight edge to Spartans and the experience that they have. They won
If
by
it's
one.
sorry,
Yeah,
what were you gonna say?
I go Spartans by one in triple overtime.
If it's that finals that you have, Punisher Spartans, I do like Spartans to come away with it. For my finals of Punishers Red Knot Skins, I got Punishers as your MFL Brossard Division One champions, and it'll be nice to see maybe a new team win it this year. Well, I mean, Red Knot Skins haven't won in Division One yet, but I think they have quite a few. Division Two, yeah, back-to-back Division Two champions there.
Wow.
MFL Laval,
Hey, let's go.
save the best for last.
Hey.
So there were quite a few. All the seeds were set, but there were a lot of close games here, as you can see, especially in that first time slot, 26-19, 32-31. We had a double loss here because both teams forfeited. So the score 25-25, but in the standings, they both get the L. No ties in the MFL, as you know.
I was gonna say.
Sorry?
I was gonna say first ever tie.
Yeah, so yeah, you want to something that bananas? Bandits were up 19-0 at half, 25-0 in this game, and they end up losing it 32-21.
Holy cow.
What's even more impressive than losing that game is how they lost it. You think it doesn't get any better than that? Let's see here. Yeah, so you know how you say that, oh, I always want to be up 2 scores. I always want to be up 2 scores. It's so nice. It's so nice. So, blah, blah, blah. If you're up 8, maybe go for 2 points and go up 10 because a 10-point lead is better than a 9-point lead.
That's true.
Right?
Yeah.
So not that it happened in this game, but over here you see the score is 31-22. Well, they were down 17 at 1 point, so I'll be already down 3 scores. They get the touchdown, they get the 2-point convert. They're still down 9 with 5 minutes to go. Game is almost pretty much over. What do Bandits do? They throw a pick six. Okay, you're down 3 points. Would you go for 1 or 2 at this point?
2.
Why?
I think You're down by three. I think you go for two because the safety wins it.
Do you know what happened in this game?
No.
They go for two, they get it,
Oh, come on, Terry.
and the game was won on a safety after that. With Villains getting the ball back after that safety and milking the rest of the clock. The rest of the 3 minutes got milked out, and that's how the game ended.
Oh my goodness. So two defensive plays made by our boys. Francisco Calabez pick six, and then Guerrero with the so that safety was like literally the very next play.
Uh,
Or
yeah,
maybe
yeah. It was on the yeah.
holy cow. Wow, that imagine if that was a playoff game.
Yeah, the Bandits would have maybe done like I don't know what they would have done, but that's insane. Like I can't believe that Bandits not win that game. But it just goes to show how Villains are one of the better teams in the division, and Bandits could like dominate them early on. But to what you said, normally a 1 point is easier to get than a 2 point. If you're down three, you get the 1 point. The safety gives you the opportunity to tie the game, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah, that's true.
crazy game, crazy finish here. Um,
Imagine
yeah,
losing the
Bandits,
game 24 for 28.
yeah. And then Dynasty beat Northsiders, Panthers V2 beat the Gators. This is the game I subbed in. Look, I just want to say that Loic's stat line does not do him justice. He's actually a really good quarterback. Like this game was close. We scored late in the first half. It was a one-score game for most of the first half. Um, and like Loic's running ability, his threat as a quarterback, very dangerous. Honestly, I felt like Liam had like 25 catches and not just five. They had that bro to bro connection for sure. But on defense, Vincent, Andy, and James ball hawking. Um, those stuff and Shmika getting 3 sacks late in the game really helped as well. Um, yeah, looking at the standings now, his first ever MFL Laval playoffs. You got D Nasty and Villains with the much deserved first round bye, especially since there's 3 rounds in these playoffs and all games are played in the same day. That semifinal matchup, you're gonna juggle like the rest versus the team that just won and has the momentum, right?
It's true. So sometimes like that buy is, which you don't want to play three games, right? But sometimes that buy is can hurt.
Yeah. And Panthers had beaten High on Audibles. That's why they have the tiebreaker over them, as you can see there. Um, yes, let's actually start with this High on Audibles, the Galactic Fun. So, like, look, both these matchups, like Bandits, Panthers V2, Galactic Fun, High on Audibles, like could have been a finals or at least a semifinals in here. They're facing off in the quarters. Um, who do you like more when they played off? These teams actually played against each other twice this season. Galactic Fun winning the first one with Steve at quarterback, 38-14. And then High and Audibles winning the second one, 26-19. They just played against each other this past weekend, I believe. Is it right? Yeah.
And unfortunately, Rob Prudhomme is still injured, eh?
Yeah, unfortunately, Rob Perot is still injured. Wishing him a quick recovery. Hopefully, we see him in the spring.
Hmm.
Um, yeah. So maybe
Yeah,
go ahead.
I still got high on audibles in this one over Galactic Fun.
Really,
Yeah,
what makes you want to give them the edge?
I think I like the way Mathieu's filled in, Gaton's filled in for Prudhomme, and you got the Matt connection, Matt Dupree, the connection that he used to have with Rob Prudhomme. I think just be able to continue to facilitate the ball between one another. I expect another 6 or 7 catches for that connection. I think that's going to be tough for Galactic Fun to stop.
Yeah, filling out nicely. I think the X factor in this game is GF Delos. Only having played 5 games here, leading the team in yards by quite a bit. Actually in receptions and touchdowns as well. So only through 5 games, putting up 11 touchdowns. That's pretty impressive. And I believe he must have a few picks on defense. To my surprise, only one, batting down 6 passes. But they do have the Matt and Matt 4 and 4 picks each. They also have 9 sacks by their rusher Will to go along with that on defense. I just think that if GF Delos plays in this game, I'm leaning high on audibles. If he does not, I'd probably go Galactic Fun.
It's good, too good to be an X Factor.
Sorry?
Too good to be an X Factor.
What do you mean?
Like, I mean, he's more than an X Factor. Like
What is in the next? Like, why doesn't the next factor have to be not good?
yeah, that's true. That's true. It's true. No, I mean, like we got to give him. We're not doing him justice.
Well, and then what is an X factor to you?
Yeah, I guess X Factor is kind of like guy that we don't really talk about too much. That like um, comes out and balls out in certain games. But yeah, no, like I think it makes sense because he only played the 5 games, right?
I mean, the definition is a noteworthy special talent or quality, a variable in a given situation that could have the most significant impact on the outcome. Doesn't say anything of it being an unlikely variable.
And it
I
does
guess
it does
maybe
sound like him too.
you highlight X factors as not the top players because you want to not you don't have to you don't say the obvious, right? You want to
Mhm.
bring insights, but in this point he only played 5 games, so I don't know if his presence is guaranteed or not. And yeah,
Yeah, that's true. Putting up the numbers in 5 games is nuts.
but if you want to talk about X factor, does that mean I can't name Justin White as the X factor for Galactic Fun on this side because he has a leading in yards, touchdowns, and also interceptions for this team? Clearly the MVP of Galactic Fun here.
No, I think based on your definition, these guys are definitely X Factors.
Based on yours, who would it have been?
That's a good question. Maybe Florence.
Okay.
Yeah, 2 catches a game.
So,
It's a stacked team.
so who are you going with?
I'm going the high notables tight one.
I think there's more chances than not that GF will be there, so I'm going to go High Nobles as well. Bandits, Panthers. They faced off in the regular season one time, and it was a very low scoring affair. Another safety making the difference for Bandits in the loss here.
Yeah, 8 to 6. Wow.
It was actually a 12-yard safety because like on the first play it was a 7-yard completion, so I have no idea what happened there for Bandits. But yeah, 8 to 6 is super low scoring. Um, who do you like more here?
I think Bandits get the revenge. I think after that tough loss they had just this past weekend, I've always been high on this team. I know the Panthers are coming in with seven wins and only 3 losses. Uh, but I expect a higher scoring game, but a very close game, just like their first and only matchup against each other. I'm gonna go 27-25 Bandits.
I think it's gonna be lower scoring than that. Look, Panthers have by far the best defense in the whole division, and I think led by James and Vincent, that's pretty obvious. Bandits have one of the better offenses in this division. I look, Panthers have to play a really, really good game defensively to limit Bandits enough, given the number of points they'll probably score in this one, right? But I'm going with Bandits on the upset in this one. So we have the same 2 picks, right?
So yeah, we both got high on audibles. We both got Bandits.
So that means we'd have D Nasty facing off against Bandits, who they lost to during the regular season. And that would be your semifinal game. Here you can see it was probably one of Kevin. Well, he didn't throw any picks in this game, but Probably one of the games with his fewest number of touchdowns. Um, even though Frankie threw two, Dynasty still didn't win this one. Couldn't take advantage of that. Um, with the way that the Dynasty ended their season after starting 2-2, 6 straight wins, it's hard not to pick them. I don't care who their opponent's going to be in the semifinals. I got Dynasty going to the finals.
I'm with you on that. It's just this is a team that's played together for a long time. We've seen Montreal as well, and they just know what to do, when to do it, and how to win games. I think that they're going to be a little too much for them to handle.
Yeah. And then, well, that means we'll have Villains against Panthers in the other semifinal game. Um, kind of like the same as Dynasty. Like, look, the party has been there for in this Laval division in the MFL, first ever. You still see my screen with the schedule here, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but I just think that Villains and Dynasty are not like I wouldn't be surprised if either of them lost in semifinals, but I just think they're too strong for me to pick against them. I just think that both those teams are kind of like the 1A, 1B, and then there's like the two and the rest underneath them. So I'm kind of going, oh wait, no, Villains against High Notables, right? It would be Villains and High
Um,
Notables, right? We both chose High Notables.
yeah, both just high notables.
Let me just double check that. I think I said Panthers accidentally. Yeah, if Bandits and High Notables both won, it would be Villains, High Notables, Bandits, Dynasty. Um, yeah, so High Notables winning this one pretty convincingly. One of Villains' only two losses on the season. Not a great game by Jeremy. Rob Prudhomme was there. It will be very, very different. Look, I do think High Notables have what it takes to beat this Villains team, and I think it will be a much closer semifinal than the other one of Dynasty against Bandits, we said. But I'm
Mhm.
still liking the Villains to go into the finals.
I'm with you on that too. Just the way they're playing both sides of the football, especially now late in the season. I think that's that's always huge. You want to have some momentum heading into the playoffs, and this is a team with a bunch of ballers, right? And I think they're just a little bit more athletic than High Audibles, and I think that that's going to prove the reason they win this game. But I do expect a close one. I wouldn't be shocked either if High Audibles won, especially like you said, they won the first matchup pretty convincingly. But I think Villains get the better of them in this game.
Yeah, and then that would bring us to a battle of top two seeds who had to buy Dynasty Villains in your first ever MFL Laval finals. Top two offenses in this one. Um, let's see when they faced off in the regular season. Oh yeah, I remember. I think I ref that game. What a game it was! 46-40 final score, 20-20 halftime. Dynasty scoring on the last play of the game to get the win there after Villains tied it up with 18 seconds remaining. I think this one has finals preview written all over it. It's going to be a good one. Both quarterbacks, at least 6 touchdowns each. Samuel and Sebastien going off in this one. It's going to be a good one. Are you going to come to Laval or Brossard this Sunday?
That actually be cool. Like I'm not gonna watch this Dolphins game, right? Because they're gonna get demolished by the Bills. So this would be a cool.
What time is that game at?
I think at one.
Uh, if you want to come to Laval, you can come be there for the first MFL Laval finals. Then come over watching football.
That's true. Maybe record the show too,
Yeah, that's not a
and
bad
then
idea.
in person. Yeah, yeah. Okay, I like that. Hold me to it, please.
I'm not gonna come and pick you up though.
That's fine. We'll make it work. I like. I'm gonna go 33-31 in this game. Championship preview, first ever finals in Laval. Oh man, this is good. You got two experienced teams. I think you got experience against a little bit less experience but more youth. I'm gonna go with the Young Bucks in this game. I'm gonna go 33-31 Villains. They're your first ever champions in Laval. I expect a really good
Purple.
game. Yeah, purple, and I think it's gonna be a convert battle. It's gonna be a battle of the converts. I think both teams score 5 TDs in this one, and it's just gonna be about those extra points late in the game.
Yeah, I like it. Look, I'm going really back and forth on this one. I could see Jeremy and Villains having an outstanding game and like playing lights out. But I can also see them making those same mistakes that they made against Bandits early on to dig themselves into a 25 to nothing hole. And I don't think they'll come back against a team like Dynasty if they're in that kind of hole, right? I think overall, even though they finished the same record, Dynasty have been the better team. They're the hotter team right now. Look, my heart's saying Villains, my head's saying Dynasty. I think I'm gonna go with Dynasty. We had all the exact same picks for Laval up until now, except for this one. Hopefully, this lights a fire under Villains' butts and makes them want to win it even more. But look, I'll be super happy for either team that wins. It might not even be neither of these two teams in the finals. We're maybe predicting something for nothing right now, but I'm really excited. We had a great season of MFL Laval for the first ever season. 10 teams. That's like probably double the number of teams we were expecting, John and I, when we decided a month before opening registration that we're going to expand to Laval. Hope to see all these teams and more back next season in the spring. Hopefully, we'll have two divisions there. But yeah.
Yeah, it's incredible. I've been checking it out and following it. Unfortunately, I haven't been, but I've been following the standings and the games, and
I
from what
hope you
I've heard,
haven't been talking about it every week.
yeah, touche. But no, from what I've heard, people are I love it, and the field's been great, and the vibe has been good, right? The Warriors maybe that won't have the same MFL vibe that Montreal does, but it has the same vibe from what I've heard that Brossard does, that Montreal does, and yeah, I'm looking forward to what should be a great championship, and good on you for making it happen because. It wasn't easy to get it started. I know there's a lot of things that you have to get the field, this, that, the other thing. But you made it work, and it's congrats on a great first season.
Thanks, appreciate that. Hopefully, I'll see you there this Sunday.
Yeah, yeah, I'll make it happen. Don't worry.
Let's go. All right, well, that caps off our show. We'll still have two other shows at the very least, maybe even a show after the finals. We'll see about that. But yeah, at least since we're gonna have a show for Montreal next week, we could still recap the Brossard and Laval finals. But yeah, if anyone wants to show up, it is championship weekend on Sunday for in Brossard and Laval. An important note I didn't mention during Brossard, all the playoff games are at Parc Poly Arena instead of Illinois, which is undergoing some maintenance. We got turf though, so all playoff games in Brossard are going to be played on turf. They gave us a turf field since all the grass is undergoing some maintenance. So captains were all notified. Make sure everyone knows. Probably send another reminder before this weekend. Anyway, the fields are really, really close to each other. So if you show up, you see no one there, it means that you're at the wrong park.
But hey, everyone loves turf.
Yeah, yeah.
Turf.
Except for Kevin, because it's harder to put the field lines on it apparently, because you can't like pin the pins down.
Sounds like an excuse.
Yeah. Anyway, great show. I think one of our longest this season. A lot of things to cover, even though we spoke about fewer teams, we only spoke about the playoff teams, right? But any questions on those tiebreaker procedures? If you have any comments, what you find fair, not, like we're always open, right? Like the MFL is like I'd say it's like one big family over here. We have those competition committee meetings right before those get-togethers. When people show up early, we include them. We even use them, use their votes to make decisions. So really, any feedback is good feedback. So don't be shy to share it with us. Let us know what you think. If you're upset, if you're not upset, we'll be there for you to to console you and talk about it. So
Yeah, great stuff. Eh? We always have big ears, right? Big ears, and you gotta listen to what.
you especially,
Yeah, true. Yeah, yeah. Listen to what the people want, and I think we do a good job of that. So yeah, it was a complicated process for sure, and I think that you did a good job explaining it, and hopefully everyone is satisfied.
Yep. Alrighty, so see you guys all this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. Exciting stuff, man. MFL playoffs.
It doesn't get better than that. LeBear, everybody.